I don't know what just in means, but from here a little speech about justice for everyone and for all. I don't know what all is, but everyone I understand. Which means that I do not believe in breaking apart the word justice and then just and then ice and the iceberg is that's the tip of the iceberg of corruption, and to have the iceberg melting for justice to occur and for corruption to end, and then I like these words that I sang yesterday. The end is over. I'm thinking about the Doors and the walk in the desert. That is, well, I know it's a human condition, but if we know right from wrong and act rightfully, then we don't need to walk in the desert and say no to Satan and the temptations to gain material wealth at the expense of other people, to have people dying for other people to live, because it should not be necessary to sacrifice or to want to live other people's lives when there's enough room, space on Earth, and the universe is a very large universe, and there's so much space in the universe that we do not need to fight to conquer all of the universe. I know America wants to go to Mars. They have Elon Musk as the front, whatever, what's the word, as the CEO or whatever, I don't know, the leader of that expedition. And then I have invented my speed of light craft. And Mars is not the destination. It's further out in the universe, and which is possible with my speed of light craft, because it can, with a propulsion system that is even green. Not green is a strange word to use, but it does not use any to get out of the atmosphere of Earth, and some kind of engine is needed. But out in the universe and outer space, it is not needed, and its magnetism can be amplified so that it gets the forces stronger. So there's no need to fight to fight people, to be at war. The only reason why there's war now between people or against people is if some people have the impression that you should that there's a need to want what other persons have, what somebody else has. So what I have, which is my speed of light craft, and when I say other, I'm not talking about my children and some psychos who have kidnapped my children, because I am the mother of my children, which means my children belong with me. I was the only part of the case. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about justice. That my children belong with me. I invented my speed of light craft, which means it is, and it's not for sale as whole invention. It's only shares, And then you need to build it with me, and my children are to not be a part of it as not going to school. They need to have an ordinary life, and but I want them to make decisions about it, to paint the flag. It's going to be white initially, but then they'll paint it. Not a Danish flag, not an American flag, not a British flag, not a German flag, not a European flag or whatever. Because it's not a conquer of some kind of planets out in the universe, and saying, bringing a culture from Earth there. It's too not well functioning, the cultures and the civilizations on Earth. It needs to be done, the fight against individuals, against peoples, to get something from a person or a people that does not belong to the countries or the organizations or public or private that seem to think it's some kind of competition or to chase people out of their own lives. It's not legal, and you need to not be at war against my children and I, because it's going to backlash, I think the word is. And then I don't know why, when I have been thinking that it is not going to be, if we, when there will be a we, succeed in our mission, then it was not meant to be some something that people were to be excluded from. But now I feel that people are not humane enough to be invited. But there's no reason to be at war. Why should there be? Why all the destruction and killing? It's only because people can see that there's not really an enemy, but you want to create enemies. Why do you want that? Why is it, if people want to create enemies, then it's because there's some other motivation, which is to be something that's so sick, because if we do not find some kind of solution to living longer, then life is very short. And then why do we want to leave a mark on this earth for people who live when we die? Why is it necessary? Why is it so important to have some kind of power that when I am the one who made the invention of speed of light craft. You're not to fight for something that I invented, that belongs to me, that is going to be my future with my children. It's not a competition. I'm not going to give any of what belongs to me over to anybody. So it's something about what the people, when I look at people with gemstones that they say are very expensive, I'm thinking they take better care of the gemstones than themselves, which makes me not feel any kind of envy. I'm not envious. I wouldn't want to. I'd rather take care of myself and my health and live, even though it's very difficult nowadays, with all the aggression and all the psychopathy. But also people driving big cars and they look like their heads are about to burst from the sadism they have built up inside themselves, and making enemies that are not real. Why do you want to make enemies that are not real? Why do you hear something else than what people say? Is that the problem? Do people not hear what is being said? Are they so inventive inside their own heads? Not now when I say their own heads, I'm not talking about my head. Are people so inventive that they make up stories and that they are so eager to make it real that they convince themselves so eagerly that they believe in them? I'm not an evil or psychopathic person, but I've not really talked much to people the last 7 years. So it's not possible to talk to people. They don't want to hear what I say. They chase me around and they behave very uncontrolled, out of control, totally psychopathic. And I wanted to be done with that kind of behavior. And it's like people, they see something that's not there in other people. They see something in this me that is not real. I'm not a psychopath or evil. I've not even talked to that many people, and so I think that maybe just I don't know. Why would you be so psychopathic? Why do you want me to die? I'm not going to die. I'm not going to give away my invention. I'm not going to give away my children. I'm going to keep my invention and find people who want to buy shares. My children are going to live with me, and I'm going to give them a good life. So that's and justice is not something you can split up and say just in where, and just on, and you on the United Nations. It's so psychopathic and sick that there's a lot of people that need to be replaced by real politicians, real people who want real societies, real civilizations.